This
that don't know.
conference will now be recorded.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jackie Clark. I'm an educator here at Sweet Squared for a lot of the beauty brands that we do, but Lashus is my main one. I have a great passion for passing on my knowledge that I've learnt over the last 12, 13 years now that I've been in the lash industry. And I really want you guys to thrive both with lash lift and lash extensions. So I'm hoping that this evening we can give you maybe some new knowledge. We're going to cover both lash lift and lash extensions. So those of you that may only do one of those, this is a great opportunity to see and gain some insight into the other treatment, and it may be something that you want to consider for the future, adding into your treatment menu. So today, what are we going to be talking about? So we're going to be checking our existing products, talking about those and making sure that we've got everything that we need ready to start those treatments. We're going to look at application refresh as well for both of the treatments, and offering next level looks to our clients. So we've got some nice tips and hints and tricks and things like that that are going to help you to escalate and really move those treatments forward and get the very best for your clients. We're also going to have a quick look at home care and our retail as well. Retail is a great opportunity to increase your profits, and it's something that I think a lot of people are conscious of right now, is about shopping locally. So let's gain the knowledge so that we can give that opportunity to our clients when they come through. So product checking first. This is the first thing that I did once we knew that we was opening back up. I went along to the salon and I checked through all of my lash kit boxes just to make sure that I had enough products to get up and start again. So we need to check the existing products expiry date that we've got open. This particularly goes for your eye makeup remover, your pre-treatment cleanser that you'll all have, your shield adhesive, your lift and fix lotions, and also the necessary components for your lift treatment. So looking at your shield adhesive and your tint and developer as well. Now, some of those have quite short periods after opening, so you do need to check when you open those. So also checking if you've got enough stock of your under eye treatment pads. I've just put my order in today with the back to business deals that Sweet Squared have on at the moment, and I've made sure that I've topped up on all of my lash extension packs and particularly my under eye treatment pads, because I've checked my diary and those bookings are going through the roof, particularly over the next 2 weeks. People are going to be coming in wanting their fresh full new sets of extensions and also getting those lift treatments back up and running. Also check your retail stands. You know, do you have enough products ready so that you can retail everything? One tip that I will give you here when we are checking our retail stands is particularly for extensions. We've got our Lashus cleanser and brush. So what we want to do is to make sure that every single client that comes through, whether they've purchased this Lashus cleanser and brush before, is that because they're coming and getting off a full new set with us again, we want to make sure that they are going away with that aftercare. I'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but when you are going through your diaries and you're counting up all of the appointments that you've got coming through for your extension treatments, I would be marking down how many of the Lashus cleanser and brush that you need in stock ready to retail up for your clients. So this is our period after opening and before opening chart that you may or may not have seen in your classes when you trained with your Lash Grad or your Lashus Lift. So as you can see, the period after opening for our wet goods, so our eye makeup remover and pre-treatment cleanser, are great. We've got 18 months use on those. But your tint remover I know we don't use a lot of that, but just make sure that it is in date. Your shield adhesive particularly, and for me, your tint and tint developer are paramount to make sure that you are getting in stock. All right. All of these products need to have been stored at the stable condition of 16 to 24 degrees throughout the period that we've been off. That particularly goes for your lift and fix lotions. Okay, so we need to make sure that they've been kept at a stable temperature to make sure that they are good to use for when your clients come along for their treatment. These for me are essential items that you're going to want to purchase ready to set up. So you're going to need a new tint. Whether you just opened one just before the last lockdown happened, so the beginning of January, that intense tint only has a 6-month period after opening where it is good for use. Okay, so I would be purchasing one of those because obviously we are 4 months on from that now. It's not that long until you reach that 6-month window. As for your tint developer, that's got 1 month on there, so we're definitely going to need a new bottle of that. Your shield adhesive and your bond, again, 6 months on there. Your bond for your extensions is a 10-week after opening period. So if you are an extensions tech, you are going to need a new bottle of bond. So it's the perfect time to take up the opportunity of those back to business deals where they're actually 3 for 2 on lash packs and adhesive. You may or may not have seen this. I know it was sent out on email. It's also been floating around on social media as well. Is regarding our sensitivity testing for our Lashus, the lift. Okay, so for best practice and within the manufacturer and insurance guidelines, patch testing should be carried out on a repeat customer or a new customer every single 6 months, unless further allergies or medical changes occur. Now, you will have heard that in your training, and that has been a paramount part of our education. That being said, in the light of COVID-19, some clients may have had COVID-19 and not known about it. So what we need to do is that we advise you to retest all customers. Okay, so we've been closed for 4 months. Clients may or may not have suffered from COVID-19. So we need to make sure that we are retesting them, because if they have had COVID, that will mean that a medical change has occurred. So we advise you to retest all of your customers. Because of that, I have booked in treatments only after Wednesday so that I can get them in for the sensitivity testing on the Monday and Tuesday. Okay, making sure that it's 48 hours prior to their treatment. Remember that patch testing is to rule out any possibility of an allergic reaction, but is not always guaranteed. And we need to make sure that we reiterate that to our clients as well when we do the testing for them. So we're going to focus in for a few moments on our Lashus, the lift. Okay, so first of all, the pre-treatment advice for your lift clients is that we need to make sure that they are avoiding serums, waterproof mascaras, and any oily products, including the Lashus Lash and Brow Elixir, around the eye area for 24 hours prior to treatment. Now, the reason that we say this is that any of those oily products can leave a film on the natural lashes. And for waterproof mascara, the reason we say that is it needs an oil product to remove that mascara away from the lashes. So any of those oily products are going to leave a coating and a film on the natural lash that may prevent our treatment from taking. Always make sure that you're checking any changes on a client record card and making note of the fact that you've re-sensitivity tested them. Always advise your clients not to wear makeup on the day of the treatment. Again, the reason being that makeup can stay around as a residue on the lashes, but more importantly for you, for time, any makeup that we're having to remove is really going to eat into that treatment time. And your client is going to want to make sure that their treatment time is filled with making their lashes beautiful, not removing away their makeup. Ask your client to remove contact lenses before the treatment. That goes for all lash treatments. And to check the results of your sensitivity test. Make sure that both you and your client have signed your client record card to recognise that that sensitivity test has been performed and has come back okay. So how can we up our game when it comes to lash lifting? It may feel like it's one of those treatments where the result is just what the result is. But there's a few hints and tips that I can give to you, and we're going to run through them now to make sure that we're really upping that game, making sure that we're getting those beautiful, consistent, amazing results for our clients. For me, these 4 points that are on this slide at the moment are paramount in making sure that you get a fantastic lift and that you can bespoke the results that you're going to get for your treatment when you're going to go through a treatment plan with a client. Number 1 is to consider the shield size that you are using. It can be very easy once we've done our training and we tell you that a medium shield will suit most clients. It's very easy to just keep using that medium shield because you know that the lift is going to be great and you know that your client is going to look good with that medium shield lift. However, I sometimes think that people will very often go small to a small shield, which is a great choice for a client with shorter lashes. But a lot of times people will completely discard those large shields that you get in with your kit. However, those large shields can be amazing for someone who's got longer lashes. It can look amazing on maybe your more mature clients because it can really give them an open up look on their eye. And it can also look really great if someone just wants that little bit of a softer look. Maybe they've got naturally curly hair and they actually need those lashes straightening out so that you can see the full length of those lashes. So really think about which shield you are going to choose for your client. Making sure that you ensure a good fit to the natural lash line. Again, absolutely paramount. We're going to watch a video in a few moments about shield application and making sure that that shield is as close to the lash line all the way across the eye is the best way to get that real lift from the root. Lash placement onto the shield. Making sure that all of the lashes go completely straight up towards the forehead, again, will really help to enhance the lift that you're giving your client. It's very easy sometimes to get complacent about lifting the lashes up onto the shield. And it may be that you just go through the motions, maybe you've got to the point where you don't always use your lash mirror, maybe as much as what you used to. But making sure that those lashes go all the way up, straight up towards the hairline is making sure that you're going to get a great lift and all of those lashes are really going to emphasize and open up the eye. And taking your time with tinting. This is something that I always really push when I'm doing a lash lifting class. There is nothing worse than having a beautiful lash lift, but then having an ombre look. Okay, nobody wants blonde roots on those lashes. So it may be that you want to use a micro brush rather than a sponge tip applicator when it comes to your tinting, making sure you get right to the root of those lashes so that you get a nice full coverage and a nice rich intense coloration on there. So I spoke a little bit about the shield sizes and how we can utilize those, especially for different looks. The shield size really does determine the amount of lift that you're going to get on those lashes. And again, it can be very easy to say, well, I want as much lift as possible. But remember to consider your client's natural eyes. Have they got slightly heavy lids? Are their lashes long enough? Are they quite short, but we don't want them to curl back? Are they a client that wears strip lashes? Okay, so for a client that's wearing strip lashes, a small shield is absolutely no good from them because they're not going to be able to get that behind such an exaggerated lift. So we'd go for a medium or large. A large shield, again, I spoke you through a few options. It'll give you a nice soft lift. I've got clients that actually the large shield looks so much better on them than the medium shield. Do any of you use a large shield quite a lot at the moment, or are you mostly using medium and small? Pop your answers in the chat just so I can get a feel of what shield sizing you are using most of. You've never used a large shield, Danielle, okay? Total body, yep, small and medium, medium. Yeah, everybody goes for the small and medium because you think that is going to give you the best lift. Mostly use small, Karen. Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to be on your own there. Mostly small, Danielle. Small and medium, Christine. Linda, yeah, very rarely large. What I want to do is set you a little bit of a challenge, really. When your clients are coming back through the door and you're going to sit and do that consultation with them again, you're going to look at making a treatment plan from you. Consider a large shield. Look at their eye shape. Consider whether a large shield would suit them. Give it a go. I would love to see some pictures of large shield treatments in our Lashus Pro Support group. Anyone who does do a large shield lash lift, if you pop a photo in there, please tag me in it. I would love to see them, and it'd be great to show some of our other pros that a large shield really can be a good option. Okay, we're going to look at shield placement now. Remember the point that I made that this shield placement really is paramount to the amount of lift that you're going to get, regardless of the size of shield that you're using. So that silicone is beautifully soft, and when we are sizing up and checking that our shield selection is correct, we're going to consider how long our client's natural lashes are. We're going to place it on the eye and just check that that's going to be a great fit. And if you remember from your training, what we want to do is make sure that that large cloud, as I call it, in the center of the shield, we want to make sure that that is absolutely in the center of the eye, above where the pupil would sit in the eye. Okay. To make sure that that fit is correct, we're going to trim away the inner corners, always the inner corners and never the outer. The outer corners provide stability for the shield whilst it is on the eye. We're going to swipe a really nice amount of shield adhesive along the back, and then we're going to get ready to place it on the eye. So if you lay this down on top of the lashes and then lift it back towards the eyelid, you'll get a really snug fit. As you can see on the video, they're shaping that shield around the lash line, and they've got a really tight fit to the roots of those lashes. It may be that if your client has got a slightly heavier lid, that you may want to gently lift the lid whilst you are applying the shield. Oh, Victoria, large is your favourite for long lashes. It absolutely is. A large shield is fantastic. I'm challenging myself as well. I will be doing some large shield lifts and making sure that I post those pictures up. Okay, now we're coming on to lifting those lashes up onto that shield. And we've got two tools for doing that with. We've got our Y brush, which is going to be demonstrated to you here. And we've also got our metal tool. Does anyone have a preference for just one or the other? I personally use both for my lash lifts. I like to use the Y brush for the majority of the lashes, but the metal tool I like to use on the inner corners where it can be a little bit tight and a little bit snug to get in there. Joanna, you prefer the metal tool. Do you use that for the whole of the lifting back, or is it just the metal one is your favourite? Metal tool mainly, the brush a little, yeah. Why brush to separate? Oh, how amazing is that comb to help separate out those lashes? You've only got the metal tool, Jacqueline. Maybe order yourself some Y combs. You get them in a pack of 5 and you can use them for up to about 3 or 4 treatments as long as you're sanitizing in between. Generally the metal tool for you, Danielle, metal, Karen. Lucy, absolutely try the Y combs. You will love them, I promise. So let's have a look at this video and then you can see how great they are for smoothing up the lashes. So on this Y comb, we've got 2 edges. We've got the first one, which is a completely straight edge, which we use for smoothing back the lashes. And then we've got a little comb side that will be used to separate out the lashes. Okay, so you've applied your shield adhesive along the shield. You are then going to smooth up using the straightened side of the comb. And if you can see there, those lashes are going straight up towards the brow. They're not curving round. The tech is actually pulling them back into a central position. You want them at a nice 90-degree angle to the lash line. We're smoothing them back with that straightened edge. It gives you a really nice snug fit on there. Rachel, you can't wait to start lash lifting again. I know. I've got 4 appointments booked in next week and I'm so excited. Lovely smoothing back. You can see how it's giving you a nice tight fit right around that shield. It's so easy to smooth them back, and then using that little combed edge just to straighten out any little lashes that need a comb through. Fantastic, cool. Handy little tool. And you can get that all the way across. But as I said, I actually prefer the metal tool for getting right onto the inner corners of the eye, just because I find it can be a little bit tight in that area. Oh, Rachel, you haven't actually been able to do any lash lifts yet. Oh, I'm really excited for you. Please post some pictures, before and after pictures up in the Pro Support group. It would be great to see them. Okay, we're going to move on to having a look at the metal lash lifting tool now. So this is one that you may have used if you've been trained for a few years, possibly that you've trained previously with another brand. We're quite used to using a metal tool for lash lifts. It's just making sure that if you are going to use this metal tool, then you use it in the correct way. So we make sure that the foot of the tool is lay flat and we're never actually coming towards the eye with the point of that metal tool. Okay, we need to make sure that we are smoothing all the way up. But you can actually use the foot of that metal tool if it needs, some of the lashes need separating out slightly. It's a great way to do that, just combing up with the metal tool. But if this is your eye and the shield with your lashes on, you don't want to come in with the metal foot of the metal tool like this. You want to lay the metal tool parallel to the face and just drag upwards. That's the safest way to utilize this tool. Making sure that you do this process nice and slowly will really help for that shield adhesive to grip onto those natural lashes and make sure that all of those lashes are lifted and adhered back onto that shield. Okay, one of the other tips that I gave you that can really help to lift your lash lifting game is the tinting process. So we're going to refresh ourselves on how that looks, making sure that we're using a good quantity of tint. For those of you that, like me, may have been trained in lash and brow tinting back in college, very long time ago now, you will be very used to applying a large amount of tint onto your mixing palette or your dapping dish. For Lashus, the lift, we only need a very small amount. We need a tiny amount because the more you apply onto the lashes, the more you're going to have to remove at the end of the treatment. You need to make sure you are mixing in 3 to 5 drops of tint developer with a very small pea-sized amount of tint. Now, yes, we've got liquid developer, but because of the way that our tint works, you will see that it forms a really nice creamy consistency once you add that developer into our tint. It's important when you are doing lash lifting that you remember that we offer this service as a whole. It includes a lower lash tint as well. It really helps to make the eyes pop, and we need to make sure that we're going to be able to capture those lower lashes. So removing the under eye treatment pad, gently nudging away those lower lashes from the skin if they may be attached onto there, and then reapplying the under eye treatment pad to protect the skin from any tint that we are going to apply. I always like to warn my clients when I reach this stage of the process, just because they may have nodded off a little bit, they may be nicely relaxed, and they might jump if you do this without just giving them a little bit of a warning. Okay, once we've freed all of those lower lashes, we're going to apply the tint onto the lower lashes first. Does anyone know why we may be applying that tint onto the lower lashes first? Has anyone got any ideas why we may do that? Is it cheating if you answer, Victoria? Yes, it is cheating if you answer. Claire, there's been no product on them. Yet, Sharon, not over processed. Absolutely. Lifted lashes are more porous yet because we've opened up the cuticle on the hair with the lifting products. Okay, so we're going to apply onto the lower lashes first because it's going to take a little bit longer for those to take on the full effect of the tint. We're then going to apply onto the tips of the upper lashes. So these will take a little bit longer to process than the bulk of the lash that we've already treated with the lift and fix, but not quite as long as the lower lashes. The reason being that the tips of the upper lashes are very, very fine. Okay, so there isn't actually any cortex right in the very center of the tip, so it actually takes on the tint much more quickly. Okay, so you're going to apply onto the lower lashes first, wait 5 minutes, apply onto the tips of the upper lashes, and then apply onto the bulk of those upper lashes. Liz, you struggle to get the lower lashes out from hiding. Yes, this can be a little bit of a task. Okay, it can be that they'll be tucked right under there. It can be that maybe your client has started to perspire. So, you know, you really need to lift those pesky lower lashes up. I like to use either a sponge tip applicator or a cotton bud, something like that. And I like to run that under the lower lashes, just helps them to poke out a little bit. And then when I'm reapplying the under eye treatment pad, if you just pull down slightly on the cheekbone with either your middle finger or your ring finger, that will help them to just pop up a little bit so you can get that under eye treatment pad underneath. I hope that helps. Victoria's given you some great little tips there as well, to use some micropore tape. For me, micropore tape is the saviour of all lash treatments. I feel like everyone should have it in their kit. It is so useful for so many things. Okay, I'm just going to talk briefly with you about a treatment plan. Is this something that you guys do with your clients every single time they come in, or just with a new client when she arrives? Going through the consultation and setting a treatment plan with them. Every time, Claire, every time, Joanne, that's great. It is something that you should be doing with your clients every single time. And I know it can sometimes seem a little bit monotonous to do it every time, but it's your chance to reconnect with your clients, particularly this time around. We've not seen them for at least 4 months, and we need to reconnect with them. We need to check that there's been no medical changes at all. We've redone our sensitivity testing, but also check if the style they're wanting has changed at all. I had some clients who came back to me after the last lockdown who said that they'd spent so long without any lash treatments that they weren't sure that they wanted something quite as dramatic. So I really sat down and went through the treatment plan with them. Have some photographs handy of different size shields when it comes to your lash lifting. When it comes to lash extensions, have some different options. Let them have a look and really involve them in that treatment plan writing that you're going to do. Discuss the different size shields that can create different looks. It will really help them to feel valued, involved, and able to contribute to the treatment. If you don't ask the questions, a lot of times a client won't feel confident enough to say something outright to you. I know we've all got those clients who quite happily will do, but a lot of clients won't do because they feel that you're the expert and you know best. But giving them the opportunity to speak and help them to decide a little bit will really help to build on the relationship you have with your clients. So lash tinting, as I said, this really helps to make the eyes pop. I love this image that we've got here of a before and after of a lash lift. As you can see, the lash tinting really helps to frame the eyes. You want to make sure that you're getting that tint all the way down to the roots, and make sure that you're utilising your lash mirror throughout your treatment. Okay, that means when you're lifting the lashes back onto the shield, it means when you're applying your tint, making sure that you really cover all of those lashes to make sure that you get a beautiful, consistent result. Really take your time. So what is your aftercare advice for your lashes to lift? They need to make sure that they keep their eyes completely dry for 24 hours when they've had a lift treatment. Does anyone know the reason why we say that? Again, Victoria, it's cheating if you answer, so somebody else needs to answer. It'll cause them to drop. Yeah, it would cause them to drop. If we get them wet, if they come up into contact with steam within 48 hours, it can cause them to drop, or it can change the shape. Okay. Do you know why it would make them drop? Sorry, I'm really testing your knowledge here, aren't I? I want to see if anyone can remember from the training why it would make the lift drop or would change the shape of the lashes. It's fine if you don't know. I'm going to tell you anyway. The weight has a little bit to do with it, yeah. Absolutely correct, Liz. Yet the bonds have not fully formed back together. So when we apply our lift lotion, we break down the bonds that hold the hair in shape. And when we apply our fix lotion, it reforms those bonds. However, it takes some time for those bonds to reform and the cuticle of the hair to settle back down. When you apply any type of chemical treatment, whether that's lash lifting or whether that's tinting onto the lashes, what happens is the cuticle of the hair opens up. It's a little bit like a pine cone. That's the best way I can describe it. So when a pine cone opens up and you can see right down into the center of that pine cone, that's what happens if you looked at your lashes under a microscope. So we need to wait 24 to 48 hours for that cone to close back up. So we need the cortex of the cuticle of the hair to close back up. So we're going to wait for that to close back up, and then we're going to be ready to go. I'm very sorry, guys. I completely lost my train of thought for a second. Somebody's just come in the room. Yeah, so we need to wait those 24 to 48 hours for that cuticle of the hair to close back up so that those bonds are fully secured in the reshaped that we've given them. Okay. So we've talked about aftercare. I'm now going to speak about our extensions treatment. Now, I know that some of you guys on here won't be extensions trained, but it's a great chance for you to maybe just see and have a little bit of an insight into the treatment if it's something that you want to add on. If it's not something you're interested in, that's fine. Just hang around because I have got some great deals for you to have a look at the end of the presentation. Jacqueline, do we do aftercare leaflets? So our aftercare advice is actually on the back of our appointment cards that you can order. So you've got your pre-treatment advice in there and your aftercare advice. What I personally do for my clients is for both pre-treatment advice and the aftercare guidance is I have a little image that I've pulled together on Canva or on Paint or whatever you use to potentially make posts for your social media, and I have those pictures ready to go. So those pictures I will send to my client. The pre-treatment one I will send to them day and a half maybe before the treatment. And the aftercare advice, although I tell them the aftercare advice face to face when they are in with me, I will send them that generally about an hour later, something like that, because this sounds a little bit frivolous, but a lot of the time when you've done a lash treatment for a client and she's looking in the mirror and checking out her lashes, she's concentrating so hard on how beautiful her lashes look that she's maybe not always listening to the aftercare advice that you are giving her. So I like to send that through to her later on just as a little reminder. Do Lashus do headbands? Or is there any that anyone recommends that don't just fall apart in the wash? Gosh, yes, headbands can be a little bit of a nightmare. We do plain black headbands. I don't believe we've got any branded ones. Victoria, you may be able to help me out there, but I don't believe that we have any Lashus branded headbands. But I just use plain black ones. I do like the velvet touch ones rather than the toweling ones. I seem to find that they last a little bit longer. So it may be worth you having a look for some of those. Okay, onto our extensions. So how can you up your extension game? There's lots and lots of tips that I can give you here, but again, I wanted to just look at 4 of them. Make a treatment plan with your client. So we've just gone over how we sit down with our clients, do a consultation again, and make them involved in that treatment plan. Remember, this is their first time having their lashes done in a while. And as I said, it may not be that they want the look that they had before lockdown. It may be that they want to go full volume. You know, they are ready. They're normally just a natural look client, but they want absolute massive impact because they've gone so long without them. Or the opposite might be true. They were used to having potentially full volume lashes and now they're wanting maybe a slightly more subtle, natural look. Tinting your lashes prior to your extension treatment. This is something that I offer to my clients when they are having a full set done. The same way as I spoke about that nobody wants blonde roots if you're doing a lash lift, so we need to make sure the tint's all the way down. The same can be said for lash extensions. So if someone has very, very fair natural lashes, I am one of those people. If I just have my lash extensions applied without having my lashes tinted first, it can be quite obvious that I have a very blonde root to my lashes, and it doesn't give the best look. So my personal advice to my clients is that they do have a tinted application done before their treatment. Now you can only do this if you are tint trained already, but I do recommend that it's something that you look into. As long as you make sure that that tint has been done 48 hours prior to the lash extensions being applied, they will be absolutely fine. Remember, we need that 48 hours for the cuticle of the hair to close up. Lash mapping is something that is huge, and it may or may not be something that you use at the moment, but I am going to talk you through some steps. It can be a great way to make sure that you are getting consistent, even results, symmetrical results across both eyes, but also lash mapping can give you some different options of different looks. And have you considered hybrid? Hybrid lashes is a great option to offer on your treatment menu. It can bridge the gap between classics and full volume. It can help to speed up your treatment if you're including some of our pre-made fans in there. And remember, once you've trained in the lash guard class or our classics class, or you've been trained with a previous band in one-on-one extensions, then you are able to purchase and use our pre-made fans. So lash mapping, it assists in creating that bespoke styling with symmetry and precise placement of lashes throughout the treatment. You can then easily adjust or adapt the style if you need to when it comes to maintenance. I like to, once I've utilised these under eye treatment pads with the lash maps on, once I've used them for my client when she's coming for a full set, I will actually apply these onto my treatment card. So I know exactly what lash map I've used, what lengths I've used, and it makes it much, much easier when she comes in for a maintenance treatment to ask her, does she want the same styling as last time? Does she want to alter it slightly? But I've got my base knowledge there attached to a record card. So looking at lash mapping, I really want to focus in on how we do the best lash mapping possible. So the first step is to have your client focus straight ahead of them. So get them to stand in your treatment room, focus straight ahead of them and look at a point that is at least 3 meters away. That's to make sure that their pupils are fixed into a central point, because if they look at something that's too close to them, for instance, you tell them to look at you, their eyes will become cross-eyed and you won't be able to find that central point of the eye where the pupil will naturally rest. You then want to use an eyeliner pencil or something similar to mark the point where the pupil sits just below the brow. I just want to point out here that this is not a client of mine who needs her brows waxing as soon as possible because we are still in lockdown. This is my beautiful 14-year-old son. So he didn't want me to wax his brows before I took these pictures. Okay, so once your client has had that brow mark done, you then want to lie your client down and place on their under eye treatment pads. You're going to perform and map out your full look on that under eye treatment pad. Make sure that you use quite a narrow pen for this as well. If you use one that's too fat, it can almost blur the lines and the sections that you're going to be applying onto. So we want to get them to lie down. You are then going to use something like, I've used an orange wood stick here. I've used, before I've used a wax spatula, something that's nice and straight. And we're going to mark down the central point on the pad's outer edge. Yeah, God love him, Debbie. He was not too impressed. He did ask me to make sure that I completely cut out the rest of his face and was just using his eye for the pictures. Once you've marked that central point on the under eye treatment pad, you then will use that as your pivot point for marking out the rest of your lash map. So you're going to start by marking out the start and the end of your lash map, so the very edges of the eye. So as you can see here in the first photograph, I've looked at marking out the outer edge. I've then marked the inner edge. I've then drawn lines using that pivot point to mark out exactly where that fan will sit on that under eye treatment pad. You're then going to look at dividing that whole map into sections ready to apply your lash map into it. Now, the easiest and basic map that you can utilise will be your natural lash mapping. And from that, you can then create lots and lots of different looks that we're going to take a look at in a moment. But you want to start out with your 3 zones. Okay. So you're going to mark down the centre point. This will then divide the map into 2 halves. And then you're going to split the outer point in half again. You've then got your 3 sections. These are your 3 zones that will help you decide on your lash extension length and the style. The longest lengths will always be in zone 2. Okay, that second zone along will always have your longest lengths in. We then will always want to taper the lengths down on the outer edge, so zone 3, and bring that back down. It just helps to pull the eyes back in and just helps to frame the eyes, regardless of the style of lash map that we are going to produce. Does those 3 zones make sense to everybody? Do you understand what I'm saying? So zone 1 will be on the inner half of the eye. Zone 2 will be just here, or just past the halfway point, and zone 3 will be the very outer corner. Does that make sense to my lash extension ladies? Hope it does. It does to you, Victoria, but you don't count. No, you don't count. How many times? You're cheating. Lucy, I'm glad that makes sense to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are just a few lash map looks that you can look at creating for your clients. Excuse the rough and ready picture. Again, this is me at home just playing around. So we've got our natural lash map, and you can see there that we've got our 3 sections. Poor Victoria, yes, she's always getting told off. Don't worry about it. She's used to it. So that natural lash map will always be your go-to. When you're first trying out lash mapping styles, this will be your go-to. Our safety margin that we have for Lashus lash extensions is that no lash extension will be more than 4 millimeters above the natural lash length. Okay, and always start off really small in the inner corner. That's also one of my tips that I give to my students. Making those shorter inner lashes will help again to frame the eyes. So whether you've measured up and you think your client's natural lashes are around a 9 millimeter to start with, really drop it down in length towards those inner corners. It will help to frame the eyes and you will see a better result. Another tip that I will always give is from the inner corner, the length of the inner corner to the outer corner should generally be no more than 2 millimeters. The only exception to this is cat eye, which will be 3 millimeters difference. Okay, because with a cat eye, we're trying to get that nice winged look. And doll eye, you can see that zone 2, we've actually separated out. And the reason for that is a doll eye, we're looking for a longer length in the center of the eye to really open up the eye. Victoria, you're getting overexcited again, aren't you? Bless you. Okay, so here I've got some examples for you on the different styling options that you've got for your clients if you are classically trained or lash grad trained, however you want to say it. So the first picture we've got there is a natural classic. So this is a lash extension applied onto every medium length lash or teenage lash if you were in my training classes. So a medium teenage length lash, one that's a really good stage for application. So we've just applied onto those teenage lashes for that natural classic look. If your client wants something that's a little bit fuller, but again, still a classic look, we can look at upping the application of extensions from not just those teenage lashes, but possibly onto the granddad lashes as well. The ones that are a little bit longer, but are maybe coming to the end of their cycle. And then the bottom two pictures are utilizing our pre-made fans. So we've got a hybrid look. So you can see that that has been a natural classic look. So with our one-on-one extensions, I then used the pre-made fans in between each one of those classic extensions. And then we've got our volume look. So this volume look is just using our pre-made fans. We've used those pre-made fans to perform what I would call a speed volume look, if you like. So you don't have to be trained in Russian volume or master volume. You can just go ahead and use our pre-made fans to help you produce that lovely full look. Does it help for you guys to see those different types of styles that you can create for your clients? And another little question I'm going to ask is, how many of you actually utilize our pre-made fans even, not flans? I'm glad that's helped, Danielle. How many of you are using those pre-made fans? I love them. I absolutely love them. Danielle, you can't get the pre-made fans off the strip. Lucy, you're keen to try. Danielle, have you got our original pre-made fans or have you got the second generation fans? I think it's the original ones. Okay. Yes, the original ones were more difficult to peel away from the adhesive pad that they're on. So we invested and we brought to you guys the second generation fans. Those second generation fans are completely bonded at the base. They are much, much easier to use. And I wish I had some with me so I could show you just quite how easily they come away from the strip. If you haven't put in your order, guys, even if you just get one pack, even if it's just a mixed pack, get a pack of the second generation fans. I promise you, you will see a massive difference in the pickup and the application of them. Oh, of course, Victoria, yes, there is a video on the Lashus support page. So any of you that are in that pro support group, do have a look at that. You only know because you filmed it. Of course you filmed it, Victoria. Have a look at that if you've got some of the original fans, but definitely invest in one pack of those pre-made fans. And again, please let me know in the pro support group, you know, tag me in a post and let me know how you get on with those. So talking about our pre-made fans, our second generation fans are a great way to help you disguise any natural gaps in the lash line. It can introduce your client to fuller looks in a very quick time frame. And it definitely bridges the gap between classic and volume. So I actually now offer on my treatment menu, I have classic, I have hybrids, and I have full volume. And it is up for my client to choose which option they like. I have, if you are looking to upsell to your clients, I have offered to apply some of the pre-made fans into a classic set to give them a taster of it. So when they come back for their maintenance treatment, say to them, you know, do you fancy a little bit of a fuller look maybe? Maybe we could insert some fans into the outer corners just to fill that out a little bit. Offer that to them for free. And it may be then that they are then hooked into having the fans applied, and they are then going to move on from a classic application to a hybrid application. Victoria, thank you very much. Yes, if you would tag Danielle and Liz into the post, that would be great. So aftercare for our extension clients is very similar to our lift clients, but because of our amazing oil and water resistant adhesive, the clients need to be aware that they don't need to keep them completely dry for 24 hours, but they do need to not fully submerge their lashes. So by fully submerged, it means don't be going swimming. You know, don't be holding your breath and dunking your head under the bath water. However, if they decide to go to the gym or they get a shower or it rains on the way to the car, their lashes are going to be absolutely fine. Many years ago, the advice was not to get lash extensions wet at all, but technology and our adhesives have moved on since then. So we actually encourage now our clients to be washing and cleaning their lashes after that 24 hours has been completed. The best way for them to do that is to use our gentle lash cleanser and our brush to help keep the lashes clean. There can be lots and lots of build-up of makeup if they are makeup wearers, but even if they aren't, there's lots of build-up of sebum that is produced from our skin. There can be dead skin cells, there can be environmental factors, and it can produce a build-up on the lashes. That build-up will affect the adhesive bond of the extension onto the natural lash, and will actually deteriorate that bond, meaning that the lash extensions would shed much quicker than normal. So it's a great way to not only upsell for you guys, but also it's going to help the lashes to be maintained better at home, meaning that your client's going to be happier because she's held onto her lash extensions, but also for you guys when it comes to maintenance treatments, it's going to be much, much easier for you to perform that. We also need to make sure that they're not rubbing and disturbing the lashes, and absolutely not to apply any mascara onto the extension. Again, the mascara can have a detrimental effect on the bonds, but especially for fans as well, there is no way to remove that mascara and that fan to open back up. I will be honest, I generally scare my clients when I say this to them, because I tell them that if they do apply mascara onto there, I won't be able to perform a maintenance treatment. It will mean a full removal and a reapplication, and the cost will be implied onto that. It's a great way to get them to keep the makeup off the lashes. Does the Gentle Lash Cleanser require rinsing? Yeah, so it's a nice foaming cleanser. I don't know whether you've seen any of the videos on it, but it's a beautiful foaming cleanser that comes out of a foaming bottle. And they apply it using the brush just in circular motions along the lash line, and then rinse with clean water. So whether they're just washing their face over the sink, they can just throw water onto their face to rinse it, or if they're in the shower, they can run some water across the lashes just to rinse that cleanser out. Okay, so your retailing items, these two items that we have for Lashus is suitable for anyone that walks into your salon. So if you're a nail tech as well, you know, this is completely suitable for your nail clients as well as your lash clients. So your lash and brow elixir is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It is made from just 5 naturally derived ingredients. All of them are in there for a reason. There's no harsh preservatives or anything like that in there. And this is great for lashes and brows. Now, this lash elixir isn't suitable for someone that's wearing extensions, but it is an absolute must for your lash lift clients. Your clients will get around 4 to 6 months out of a bottle of this lash elixir, depending on whether they use it just on the lashes or they use it on both lashes and brows. It's designed to be used in an evening after cleansing so that it can get to work whilst they are sleeping. For you guys to buy in, this is $8.95 with a recommended retail price of $19.95. And it is definitely something that I include into my clients' treatments. So maybe when they're coming along for the first lash lift, I will recommend the lash elixir, and I will recommend it at a discounted price for their first treatment. Again, offering a slight discount on it or including it in the price of a package will help to start that retailing and that repeat sale to your clients. Our other retail item for lashes, as I've just been talking about, is our Gentle Lash Cleanser and our brush. So the brush, they would only ever need one of, you know, they can keep that nice and clean and they can utilize that again and again. For you guys to buy that brush is $4.95 with a recommended retail price of $9.95. And the cleanser is $8.95 with a recommended retail price of $14.95. That cleanser is a 50ml bottle, I believe. Victoria may be able to check that for me, I can't quite remember. But that bottle actually has 200 uses in it. That means your client's going to get 6 months out of that. I keep meaning to do the calculation of breaking down the cost of it into months so the clients can figure out just how little it is to help maintain their lashes at home. And again, this is for our essential for our lash extension clients, but is suitable for anyone that is coming into the salon. So that's everything for the education and the tips, but I've got some great deals. You may or may not have seen these either on an email that you might have received from Sweet Squid or on the website, but we've got these back to business deals for you guys. If you spend over £150 before VAT on Lashus products, and that will be any Lashus products, you will receive our beautiful Lashus pillow for free, which is an amazing deal because it is normally $64.95 to purchase. And hands up anyone who's tried the Lashus pillow. I I always tell this story, so I apologise if you've heard it before, but I actually asked my husband if I could purchase the second one to use in bed at home. It is that comfortable. It's got great support for your client's neck, and because it's memory foam, it's just super comfy. It's got a lovely velvety finish to it. It's got great straight edges on it as well, which means it's perfect for holding your Lashus dish. It's perfect for holding your lash extensions and your jade stone. It's absolutely gorgeous. Louise, you sleep on it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. For our lash lifting pros, we've got a great restart pack. So remember at the very beginning, I said that you definitely need to purchase your tint, your developer, and your shield adhesive. This has got all of that in there, plus a 10 pack of lift and fix lotions, and you've got a pack of small and a pack of medium shields in there as well. And all of that is just £55, meaning that you're going to save 30%. And you can use that when it comes to adding up your 150 to receive your free lash pillow as well. And then for your extension techs, we've got 3 for 2 on all lash packs and adhesives. Again, a great opportunity for you to get some adhesive in stock and also to maybe try out those pre-made fans. And then for those of you that are looking to do a switch brands to our Lashus Lift, we've got our Switch 2 kit. This kit we've had for a little while, but it is great for you guys that have attended our webinar this evening. It's got a great opportunity for you to have included in there, along with all of the free items, including the window cling, the black apron, the record cards, some lash and brow elixir for you to retail. You'll also get a one-to-one power hour with an educator. So that's just for the lift, but you'll get that power hour with your educator. You can go through application, you can get more hints and tips. And if you're rebranding from somebody else, it will give you all the information that you need on the differences between us and your previous brand. And again, that's at a great price because it's our back to business deals of only £140 plus VAT. As with all of our Sweet Squared brands, you've got lots and lots of support here for you. You've got your online pro support group. I hope you're all in there. If you're not, make sure that you request to join. It's a great safe forum where you can discuss any technical or product queries. Us educators are in there as well, so you can tag us in and you can ask us questions. And we've also got our Facebook page and our Instagram page of Love Lashus. As with all of Sweet Squared's brands as well, you've got that award-winning customer service hotline with next day delivery. You've got free returns and free delivery on orders over £50 as well. That brings us to the end of our webinar, but what I do want to shout out is if there's any questions, then please type them in the chat box now. If there's anything that me or Victoria has missed, then type away again and I can answer anything that you might need to know. I hope the information that I've given you has been helpful. If anyone wants to discuss, maybe if you're not already an extension trained tech, whether you want to discuss that in a little bit more detail or anything like that, let us know in the chat box. We can take your details and we can get in touch with you. How long will the back to business offers be on? I'm not quite sure. I don't know whether it's while stocks last. Victoria may be able to answer that for you. Guys, you are very, very welcome for this evening. It's been great to be able to get a little bit excited that we're reopening, but also to share the information with you as well. Until stocks last, yeah, with the back to business deals, roll on the 6th for Scotland. Is that when you guys go back? Is it the 6th of May? 26th of April. Just checking the chat box, guys, just to make sure that I haven't missed anything at all. You're very, very welcome, guys. It's lovely to have shared this evening with you. Last few questions I'm just reading through. Should have brought my glasses with me, shouldn't I? I might have been able to see a little bit better. Will there be a Lashus extension refresher? I don't know if there's any plans to. Karen, it might be worth just emailing or just giving the customer experience a little bit of a call. They may be able to answer that for you. If that's all the questions for this evening, guys, thank you very much. Do remember, for any of you that are wax pros, we've got another one of these webinars. We had one earlier today with the beautiful Kirsty, but she's going to be doing another wax webinar on Thursday evening, and I'll be back on Thursday afternoon. If you've got any friends that have missed out on this evening, let them know to register to make sure that they can get into that. Thank you very much for this evening, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of the week and get ready for reopening on Monday. All right, take care for now. See you again.